Over the last year or two of making content, I keep hearing players talk about this one big issue that they have with Flesh and Blood in general. It's the price of the cards and LSS's reprint policy. Now, I put those into one issue because I kind of feel like there's six in one, a half dozen in the other. So today we're going to talk about the different strategies that LSS is used for reprinting cards and how I think their most recent strategy is going to impact players' budgets in the best way possible. Thanks for stopping by, guys. I hope you enjoy the video. The first set of reprints that I want to talk about is History Pack 1. History Pack 1 was a white border set, and the two cards I'm going to highlight from here is Command and Conquer and Mask of Momentum. Command and Conquer was originally printed in Arcane Rising and set at around the $100 mark, and right now you can get Arcane Rising like unlimited edition Command and Conquers for like $90. Now, the History Pack ones are $65. So we do see a $25 drop in the price from those Command and Conquers, but one of the biggest like pushaways for people is nobody wants white border cards, or you love white border cards. Now, white border cards being cheaper is great if you love them, but if you don't like them, then it's probably not that great for you. But overall, I think this reprint like helped out a lot at the time when they did this. It's been a couple years since they did the HP1 set, but it did help a lot of people, and the price coming down has been a pretty good solution for a lot of people. Mask of Momentum didn't quite have the same effect. Mask of Momentum has traditionally been a $100 card or a little bit more before it was reprinted, and Mask of Momentum currently sits at about $88, but the HP1 reprint sits at $83. So even though when the HP1 reprint came out, it did initially bring the cost of some of the cards back down, you now see that after the market settled a little bit, they're now pretty similar in price. Regular Mask of Momentum is $88 and the white border one's $83. So you're seeing two cards from the same set. One had a $25 impact and one had a $5 impact. So this reprint kind of felt like it was good, but also hit and miss for LSS here. Next up, let's talk about some of the legendary reprints that they did. So we're talking about cards that were majestic that are now legendary. Now we have Codex of Frailty, and we also have Warmonger's Diplomacy. Now, Codex of Frailty was, like an $80 to $100 card when it was released because everybody immediately saw the value of this. It was good in Lexi, it was good in Azalea, it's been good in all the Assassins. It has a lot of really good plays and a pretty wide range of plays that you can make with this card. So the card was, $80 to $100, and now the card sits at like $30. I do think that the legendary reprint of that card helped a little bit, and it brought the card down to like $45 or $50, which honestly is not bad. If you're looking for majestics, like high-powered majestics, that $40 to $50 range is pretty okay for a budget like price on good cards. But now the card sits at around, like $30 because I think a lot of the heroes that are using it are kind of out of the set. So you're kind of seeing how cards are high in price, but reprints bring them down. And then if they're out of favor, they fall down just a little bit more. But a $30 high-powered majestic that fits across multiple classes feels like a pretty good reprint. So the Codex of Frailty, bringing that card down like the reprint, is pretty solid. Warmonger's Diplomacy is another one that worked really well. Warmonger's Diplomacy used to be like $80 or $90 a copy. Now with the new reprint, we from Super Slam, we have them at like $40 a copy. This is going to make this card so much more affordable for a lot of people. And if there are people looking to play in Worlds that maybe need, copies of this card because they want to be competitive, then paying $40 a copy for this card doesn't seem that bad, especially when it's dropped half in price. So the legendary reprint does seem to be working on some capacity, but that's not always the case. Let's talk about two of our most recent reprints from Super Slam that I think are having the biggest impact on players everywhere. Flick Knives and Felling of the Crown. Flick Knives was like a $100 card when Syndra got announced, and we all realized what we could do with Syndra and how impactful it was going to be with retrieve cards from the Hunted. So Flick Knives shot up in price very, very quickly, and it was like a $100 card for a while when we realized how good it was. Flick Knives are now like $45 after the reprint in Super Slam. And to be honest, the art on the new one is a lot cooler in my opinion. So not only can you get it cheaper, but it looks more fun to play and like have in your arm slot. So Flick Knives is a great reprint, and it's going to help a lot of people get into Assassin. and into the Ninja class if you're looking to play Syndra, or maybe even playing Ira in LL. Next up is Felling of the Crown. Felling of the Crown has been like a $65 or $70 card basically since its release. It's been super impactful in Florian, and it's been very good in Verdance. It's also seen play in like Jarl. So Felling of the Crown has been a staple. You can get Super Slam presale copies on TCG Player for $10 a card. The original Felling of the Crown from Rosetta is selling for about $25. Even if the price settles at $25 a piece, I think that's a really good price. This is one of the lowest prices we've talked about so far. Being able to pick up a playset of Felling of the Crowns for what you used to pay for one is a great reprint, and you honestly love to see that. These Super Slam reprints have been amazing for the game and for players everywhere. To this point in the video, we've mostly talked about what did work. Let's talk about a couple of reprints that didn't work. They also reprinted Command & Conquer as a legendary like they did Codex and Warmongers. Well, the legendary Command & Conquer sits at like $100 or just over $100. So it's actually more expensive than what you can get the Arcane Rising Command & Conquers for. So even though like this is a reprint and there's more copies of the card out there, the price didn't go down, it actually went up. So it's cool to have that, but this doesn't really help players get into the game if they're looking for a black border version of the card. So more copies, but still up in price, seems like a little bit of an L here, no pun intended. The second one that I want to talk about is Fyendal Spring Tunic. When I got into the game, in 2022, I bought a Fyendal Spring Tunic for like 90 or $100. The cheapest copy that I could find on TCG Player is like 133. And that's like, pretty ridiculous in my opinion. This is a staple chess piece that is played in so many heroes across the game. It's probably always going to be a staple chess piece. That extra resource lines up so well for so many heroes in their game plan. There are 4 printings of Fyendal Spring Tunic, and the cheapest copy is $130. Now, they do go all the way up to like $160. So, in that range, you're really like in that $130 to $160 range. But even though there has been like 3 reprints and 4 total prints of Fyendal Spring Tunic, we still see the price of the card being very, very high. So with the legendary Command & Conquer and Tunic reprints, we don't really see the price coming down and helping out the player base. Guys, I'm a firm believer that the direction that LSS is going with reprints from Super Slam has honestly given me like a really, really big boost of confidence in them, and that they're listening to us, the players, and that they care about what we think, and we can expect some better reprints and pricing on cards moving forward. Because honestly, I don't think some of these cards were in Super Slam. Like, I don't think the Earth cards were in Super Slam. I feel like that was probably a late game pivot by LSS to add them into the set. So the fact that they did that for us, honestly, that speaks leaps and bounds to me. But let me know in the comments down below, what do you think? Do you think the reprints need to get more aggressive? Do you think they should cut back? Or do you like where we're at? I'd love to hear about it. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe for more content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take it easy, guys.